I'm Inside and I saw Scrooged. It is directed by Richard Donner, screenplay by Mitch Glazer and Michael Donahue. And if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie starts for following Frank, and he's the worst, okay? He does not believe in the Christmas spirit whatsoever. He's out here firing people left and right for disagreeing with him. He's also sending his employees, instead of bonuses for the holiday, sending them towels. A towel's not going to pay for rent. Oh my goodness, you know, the economy. I guess this took place in the 80s. I don't know what the economy was like in the 80s. Let me know in the comments if you were alive during the 80s and also saw the economy. Let me know what the economy was like, because these people need money. And Frank sucks. He just screams at everyone. I'm barking orders at you. It's like, oh goodness. No one wants to work with him. But because he is everyone's boss, they have to deal with him. Also, what's sad about Frank is that he's alone on this holiday. He forces people to be working on this holiday because he doesn't want to work alone. He doesn't want to be the only one working. And I'm like, bro, just be the only one working. More money for yourself. What are you doing? You're the boss. You're supposed to do that. You've taken up the position of working when your employees aren't doing. You should be, as a boss, working when your employees are not. You should give your employees some ease. Employees are there to help you, not employees serve you. Your employees are not your slave, Frank. Oh my goodness, and oh my goodness, I love Bill Murray's performance as Frank. He makes such a convincing butthead. Oh man, I love it. I love his performance so much. He has so much energy carried within us before. He's like, you know, like, Woo, I stepped forward a little bit. And of course, he goes home after a very long night of working, and he's greeted by a decaying corpse just in his living room. Who brought this decaying corpse in? I'm gonna have to fire one of my employees who brought this decaying corpse into my own house on this Christmas day. I honestly think he would have fired them if there was an employee there at his house. Even if he brought that employee to his house and then, wow, someone let this decaying man in, fired! And he's like, no accountability whatsoever! Everyone else is the problem. And of course, he's like, oh man, this decaying guy is gross. Ew. Ugh. Ugh. I like the style in which the ghosts arrive in Frank's life. It's not all at once, like in other Christmas carols, but it's all coming night by night by night by night. So the next night, I love this. It's Ghost of Christmas Past. It's taking him through his past. He's been a big old dingleberry throughout his entire life. Christmas Past shows him some instances, like this one particular memory where he's at a Christmas party and this woman is interested in him, and you know what this friggin' doofus does? He's like, oh, it's time for me to not care about you at all. I'm only worried about work. And then he leaves the party, and he blows his chance with that woman. And I love seeing the Frank that's being carried through this memory. He's like, you idiot! And he gets shown more of his life. I like the way that the movie unveils more and more of his life. In particular, he has his father treating him like, hey, you're only 4 years old. Don't give that as an excuse to not work. And I see that his father treated him like he treats everyone else. And I'm like, oh, I get it. It always starts with the father and how you get treated as a child in your very developmental sensitive years. Year 0 through 10, I think. 0 through 5 is the most sensitive, but in particular, 0 through 10 is definitely the years in which you gotta be like on your child. That sounds wrong. You gotta be like focused in, okay? But his father instead chose to treat him as an adult when he was 4 years old, and he only has 4 years of knowledge. He barely knows how to write his own name. He doesn't know how to pay taxes. Why does he need to work? He doesn't need to pay taxes. He's only a child. He's not worth it. Have you ever heard of a child labor law? Anyway, so that's his Christmas past. When he sees his mother, he starts tearing up. I'm a big fan. I also really like the Ghost of Christmas Past is like, oh, when you see your mother, you're gonna tear up. And then Frank's like, no, I'm not. And then when he sees his mother, he tears up. And after this visit from Christmas past, he goes into the present. He's talking to his little lady friend, Claire. Hey, Claire, I think I know the meaning of life now. I made some few mistakes, but now I won't make those mistakes. And then he has to interact with people, and he's still barking at them. I'm like, dude, you didn't learn anything. You didn't learn how to treat people well. You only learned how to reflect on your mistakes. I'm like, dude, stop yelling at people. Bro, that's not how you treat people in the present. And of course, the nighttime comes and we have Ghost of Christmas Present, and she is pretty. She's a pretty lady. And honestly, it's fun seeing the different types of ghosts that show up in different variations of the Christmas Carol. There's a lot of different versions. This version, what? She's a pretty lady? I wasn't expecting that. I was honestly expecting a fat, bearded man like the other ones. This ghost takes Frank through the present and goes through all the households he's affecting, shows him what it's like, what his employees are dealing with, what everyone's saying about him behind his back, just seeing the impact that he has upon this community. And it's pretty negative because he's not giving any bonuses out, and also he's just not nice, and everyone hates him, and everyone loves insulting, and I'm like, this feels, I wonder what Scrooge is feeling. I bet it's immense guilt, because he's a human too. He didn't know that he was making everyone hate him by acting like this and screaming at everyone, but as soon as he sees his actions, he's like, I want to stop this, What was the point of showing me this, Right? He wakes up again. He's like, oh my goodness. I feel I'm destined for doom. Everyone hates me. Oh no, everyone hates me while I save myself. And he becomes worse, actually, which is a funny phenomenon. I'm like, wow, I thought you would like really treat them better. But no, it's time for him to meet Ghost of Christmas Future. And it's a really creepy guy. Like, he kind of is unsettling. I don't like his face. Someone please remove his face from this movie, please? I don't want to see his face. It makes me upset. Ghost of Christmas Future is taking Frank through his future of him being dead, because that's everyone's future. Everyone's future is in a box or in the ground or off of a cliff or hit by a car or hit by a train or hit by an airplane or hit by a bird or hit by various other objects that exist in the world. Everyone's about to die at some point in life, because if you were die at some point in your life, then you wouldn't have a life to die within then. So you'll die within some time. Some arbitrary number is going to be identified with your death. And then in a few centuries, no one will remember who you are unless you made a really good contribution to the world. So that's your future, Frank. And he's like, I gotta deal with this. No one's at my funeral. Oh man, I'm treating everyone like trash, man. This sucks. This is awful. You know what I love though? He wakes up, he's like, I'm alive! Oh, hallelujah! I'm alive! Yeah! You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bless everyone. I'll give people money, I'll give them food, make them happy. I'm gonna give them all happiness, we treat everyone, make sure everyone is having a great time on Christmas Eve. I want to tell everyone to have a good time. And I'm like, yes, that's the lesson of this movie. You gotta appreciate who you got with you in your life right now. You gotta appreciate your life currently. You gotta make sure you gotta spread that holiday cheer. I love some of these quotes in this movie. When Frank understands the point of life, he's like, you gotta make an effort to make all the days merry, because if you don't make that effort, then you're going to become like a crab apple. People are going to hate you and think you're sour. So I like this movie a lot. This movie has some funny, hilarious bits. Also, Bill Murray is great. And I love Frank. He's like, hey, Claire, let's hang out. Let's hang out, please. Let's just do it right now. You know, I miss you, and I just want to be together with you again, because I still love you. And I thought that was so endearing, and I loved it. And, this movie is so good. I'm a big fan of this Christmas movie. Oh boy, I like the colors. I like the casting, direction, especially Bill Murray. He was a great choice. Ooh, do I got anything else to say about this movie? Well, nothing. I got nothing to say about this movie, so I gotta give this movie a solid 7.2 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 games on patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, you can go to this link tree. By the way, you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, in salad sauce, I'll see you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.